Hey there, YTPC. New Jersey Piper Ben here. On a chilly April day. It's about 48 degrees right now, and it's really windy, which is making it worse. Luckily we have a little bit of sun, so that's nice, but really blustery, chilly day. Being from the south, I'm not used to this type of thing. Normally by April in the south, it's really hot and stupid. As my parents and other family down there can definitely attest to. Quick housekeeping. I'm having some Orango / Peter Stokkebye Balkan Supreme in my Blake Mar Aristocrat pot. This actually just came in the mail today. It's good. It's a nice smooth Balkan blend. I can see why Northwest Pipe Smoker Tom likes it. And just a quick shout out. One of is a newer YTPC presenter. Goes by AAPipeMan. His name is Luke. He lives in Michigan. He loves baseball. But I really enjoy his channel, so just wanted to give him a quick shout out. Won't take up too much of your time, but just I guess what it filtered to in my head at least is like, it seems like watching his channel like literally lowers my blood pressure. Like it's just a super relaxed vibe. Very deliberate, sort of easygoing storytelling, entertaining stories. A lot of interesting stuff there for sure. But yeah, it's just very calming to me. So I really appreciate that. I was just kind of joking, like his intro music is a little piano ditty that it's one of those things where like, you swear you've heard it before, but you just can't place where you've heard it before. But just sort of familiar and comforting, I guess. So yeah, AAPipeMan, Luke. Check his channel out for sure. Again, just very relaxing, entertaining stories. Very nice sort of slice of life stories. Yeah. I started watching his videos pretty much as they come out, and there's a few that I haven't seen some of his older stuff, but I've been meaning to go back and check those out as well. So, yeah. Yeah, just thinking about sort of the predicament we're all in right now and how it's just changing sort of quote-unquote normal life so drastically. And I think about, things like concerts. And, literally when's the next time we're going to be able to go to a concert? Just, and there's tons of stuff like that we probably take for granted. But, I mean, I was just even, kind of spitballing and talking in a meeting recently, and I'm like, I'm not sure when's the next time I'm going to feel comfortable just shaking someone's hand. Just something that simple, but it's just crazy right now. But I definitely went to more concerts in my younger days. I had a good friend back home in South Carolina that he would actually get sort of press credentials to go to shows and take pictures, write reviews for his website. Back when like websites like that were kind of a new thing and lots of people weren't really doing them. There were obviously some big publications that had websites like Rolling Stone and things like that, but there wasn't a lot of like sort of regular folk driven content like that. So yeah, he basically went to a lot of free shows that way. He would find the contact information for their agent or their manager, whoever it was, and just email them, just say, hey, I want to I want to go to your concert, write a review for my website, take some pictures potentially. And he actually got clearance for a lot of stuff that way. And we just couldn't believe it actually worked because he was pretty much a nobody, along with myself. So, but it was fun. Yeah, more recently, I went to some recent really good shows. I saw Jeff Lynne's ELO in Madison Square Garden. I saw Roger Waters at the Prudential Center. And if that name's not too familiar, Roger Waters was the bass player for Pink Floyd. Wrote a lot of their songs, and he's been doing some amazing tours recently. Actually, it'll be a regret for the rest of my life that I missed his The Wall tour, which was literally like the biggest show anybody's ever put on in the history of concerts. But he came through St. Louis when I was there in 2012, and I didn't even know about it, and I missed that show. And I've got good friends that have been to just tons and tons of shows. My friend I mentioned earlier that would go review and shoot concerts, his brother actually shoots concerts professionally, so he's been to tons of shows. And both of them were like, the Roger Waters The Wall show that he did again back around 2012 was like the best concert they've ever seen in their lives. Just the effects and how grandiose it all was. But I did at least get to go see his more recent Us and Them tour, which again was pretty damn amazing just from a production value standpoint. But I don't think it was quite as big and crazy as The Wall. But it was still a really good time because Pink Floyd is my favorite band. So. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my first ever concert that I ever went to. So this is back in like 1990, and I actually had to look this up. So I was in middle school at the time. I would have been 11 years old, 12 years old, somewhere in that realm. But there was a new artist that was just blowing up back then, and he kind of hit the scene pretty hard and gained a lot of popularity really quickly. Viral things didn't really exist back then, but if it did, he would have been sort of a viral artist, I guess, so to speak, for various reasons. But this is one of my cousin's birthdays, and she was my same age. Had another cousin that was the same age as well. We were all 11, 12 years in that range at the time. And her birthday present was tickets to this concert to see this individual artist that was blowing up at the time, and not only tickets for her, but tickets for me, our other cousin, one of our aunts, because we did have to have some adult supervision. My parents didn't go; they had no interest in such things. But so one of her aunts and maybe a couple other kids, maybe a couple of her friends or something went. So it was maybe like 6 or 7 of us that went to this show. And I never, again, this is my first concert, so I had literally no idea what to expect. I'm 11 years old, so it's exciting. It's something new that I'm going to experience, and just being in sort of an auditorium and that whole deal, and it's just sort of, again, a lot of input for a kid to process, This Balkan Supreme stays lit really well because I'm running my mouth and I'm still not having to relight it, so that's cool. So yeah, super excited about that. Very first concert ever. I had grown up just ending up loving music. I've been to a lot of concerts, a lot of famous artists, a lot of legendary artists. But yeah, my first ever concert was Vanilla frickin' Ice. That's right, Ice Ice Baby. But yeah, so it always comes up, and it's one of those topics that's bound to come up in conversation. Like, hey, what was your first concert? And you're talking about music amongst friends and things like that, and I never try to hide the truth. I always fully admit it. My first concert was Vanilla Ice, and I was 11 years old, and again, back then, your grasp of music and the music industry and what's good and what's not good, and you haven't developed that ability to think critically about things like that at that point in your life. At least I hadn't. I was a kid growing up in South Carolina. I didn't know anything about music. My parents really weren't into music, but eventually I made good friends that knew about good music, namely the guys I've mentioned before, that went to a lot of concerts with him, and obviously his brother knew a lot about music as he played in bands and shoots concerts and stuff. So eventually I got on the right track and started listening to good music, but it took a little bit. But yeah, got to see a skinny little Robert Van Winkle up there gyrating around on stage. Probably not the best concert for an 11-year-old to go to either. I can imagine. I can imagine probably a few points in that show where my aunt's seeing what's going on, and she's probably like, I don't know about this. But yeah. Anyway. So what were some of your guys' first shows, favorite shows? I hope you weren't subjected to anything quite so drastic as a child, but yeah, let me know in the comments, and hope you guys have a fantastic day.